Once upon a time in a small village there lived a very lazy Brahmin. He was known throughout the village for his laziness. He loved to sleep all day, often found dozing under the shade of a tree or on his charpoy. He never wanted to work. The very thought of labor made him yawn. "Work is boring," he would say, dismissing any suggestion of effort. The Brahmin's wife, on the other hand, was a hard-working woman. She toiled from dawn to dusk. She worked tirelessly to provide for their family, ensuring they had enough to eat. She would wake up early every morning and go to the fields, even before the sun had fully risen. She would come back late in the evening, exhausted but satisfied with her day's work. "Why won't you work?" she would ask her husband, frustration evident in her voice. The Brahmin had two playful children who brought joy to their home. They loved to run and play, filling the air with their laughter. They would often ask their father to play with them, hoping for his company. But the Brahmin was always too lazy, preferring his rest over their games. "Go play with your mother," he would say, waving them away. One day, a wise sage came to the village, bringing with him an air of wisdom and tranquility. The Brahmin's wife, ever hospitable, invited the sage to their home for a meal. The sage was pleased with their hospitality, enjoying the simple yet hearty meal. "I'm grateful for your kindness," he said, his eyes twinkling with gratitude. "I would like to grant you a wish," he offered, his voice filled with warmth and generosity. The Brahmin's wife was overjoyed. "Thank you, sage," she said. "My husband works so hard. Please grant him a wish that will make his life easier." The lazy Brahmin overheard his wife's words. "I wish that I never have to work again," he exclaimed. The sage was surprised by the Brahmin's selfish wish, but he had promised to grant them a wish, and so he did. "So be it," he said. "From this day forward, your every wish will be granted without you having to lift a finger." The Brahmin was overjoyed. He thanked the sage profusely. "You have made me a very happy man," he said. The sage shook his head sadly and left the village. The next day, the Brahmin woke up feeling very hungry. "I wish I had a delicious breakfast of puri and aloo," he murmured. As soon as he wished it, a plate of hot puri and aloo appeared before him. The Brahmin was amazed. He quickly ate the delicious food. "This is amazing," he thought. "I can have anything I want without having to work for it." Suddenly there was a loud crash. The Brahmin jumped up in fright. He looked around and saw a strange creature standing in his courtyard. The creature was enormous and furry, with mismatched cutlery for hands. It had a large spoon for one hand and a fork for the other. It was using its mismatched cutlery to serve the Brahmin his puri and aloo. The Brahmin was terrified. His heart pounded in his chest as he tried to make sense of the situation. He tried to run away, but the creature was too fast. No matter how quickly he moved, the creature seemed to be right behind him. It chased after him, its cutlery clanking loudly, echoing through the fields. The sound was both terrifying and surreal. "Don't be scared," the creature said in a booming voice that seemed to shake the very ground beneath them. "I am here to grant your every wish," it continued, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. The Brahmin soon realized that the creature was the magical being fulfilling his lazy desires. It was both a blessing and a curse. Every time he wished for something, the creature would appear and make it happen, but always in the most unexpected ways. But the creature's methods were chaotic and destructive, leaving a trail of havoc in its wake. When the Brahmin wished for his fields to be watered, the creature flooded the entire village, turning a simple wish into a disaster. When he wished for his house to be cleaned, the creature threw all his belongings out into the street, creating more mess than before. The Brahmin became increasingly frustrated and scared. His dreams of an easy life were turning into a nightmare. He had wished for an easy life, but he hadn't wished for this chaos. The reality of his desires was far from what he had imagined. He missed his old life, where he had to work hard, but at least things were peaceful. The simplicity of his past now seemed like a distant dream. Finally, the Brahmin had had enough. He could no longer bear the chaos and the constant disruptions in his life. The once peaceful and serene environment had turned into a nightmare. He ran back to the sage's ashram, his heart pounding with desperation, and begged him to take back the wish. The journey was long and arduous, but he was determined to find a solution. "I have learned my lesson, O wise sage," he pleaded. The Brahmin's voice trembled with sincerity and regret. "I realize the value of hard work. I understand now that there are no shortcuts in life. Please, Free me from this chaotic creature." The sage smiled kindly, his eyes filled with wisdom and compassion. "You have finally understood the importance of hard work," he said. "Your wish is revoked." The magical creature disappeared, leaving behind a sense of calm and relief. The Brahmin returned to his village a changed man. His perspective on life had shifted dramatically. He started helping his wife in the fields, working tirelessly from dawn till dusk. He played with his children, cherishing every moment spent with them. He learned that true happiness comes from hard work and spending time with loved ones. The joy of seeing his family happy was unparalleled. The villagers were surprised to see the lazy Brahmin working hard. They couldn't believe the transformation. They learned a valuable lesson that day. The Brahmin's change inspired them all. There is no shortcut to success. Every achievement requires effort and dedication. Happiness and fulfillment come from hard work and dedication. The Brahmin's life was now filled with purpose and joy, and that's how I met your mother. Just kidding. But the lesson remains. Hard work is the key to a fulfilling life.